And today we have a titan in the midst, in the Algorithm Radio. We have a titan sitting next to me. Somebody who, the moment I met this guy, yeah, I'm gonna say it like you're not here, yeah. Say it like, no, the moment I met this geezer, yeah, honestly, just oozed it. I just wanted to be his mate straight away. I was like, oi, it's super cool. Then I find out, yeah, the geezer's got a voice and a half on him, and he's released tunes before, he's released videos, he's killing it in his own little world. And the best thing is he's so humble. He keeps things real close to his chest, like keeps things real close to his chest. So I feel very, very honored to be able to sit here and get this time from you, bro. Really, I really do. I feel very special. I feel very, it's a hard word to say. I feel very lucky, that you've given me this time to just ask you some questions and find out how it is you've become this amazingly talented dude, and where it comes from, where you're going with it, what's in store, the secret stuff. So yeah, man, thank you for this.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, Bruno, thank you very much for having me. It's easy to be here.
No, most welcome. So we're gonna begin like from the start, like so. For the people at home that don't know, obviously I'm lucky enough to meet you and feel your energy, and I hope that they can, and it will transcribe through the screen and on the radio. But where'd you come from? What's your origins? Where does Kali Brooke, where does he begin?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So father's East African, mum's from the South, so that's really my makeup, East and South of Africa. And yeah, man, I'm just a boy, just out here trying to be the best I can be. But for the most part, yeah. Kali Brooke, that's my actual name as well, which for me kept it authentic. I didn't want to really be named or called anything other than my name. So my parents gave me this name, so I'm rocking with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I found out, like I said, is his real name Kelly? Like, yo, that's cool, man. I was like, that's cool. Like, honestly, yeah.
And then Kelly just came and tried to steal it, but it's cool.
No, like really, it's a cool name, cool dude. Everything you can tell that as well from a music person who's grown up around music my whole life. You can tell meeting you that it's like earned. It's not something that's like. You can't, you get in the music industry, you get a lot of people who are frauds and they walk with armor on. You could tell with you it was just natural, and I think that's what I was like, yo, like your musical energy is it just flows, and especially like when I hear you sing some of the tunes that B's shown me of yours and your videos and stuff, you just see it just. It's just very natural to you. It's like you've got this natural gift, genuinely.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I just love making music for the most part, and I love being creative. So essentially, it's pretty simple. I keep it simple.
So when did you find out, you could sing? Because yo, you can sing.
Thank you, boss.
When
Thank
did you
man.
find out?
I think, to be honest, it started from way back when we used to sing at church, and was passed on from the family. So I didn't really essentially know if I could sing or not. It was just something that we just did, you know what I mean? And from then, we just obviously loved music and loved being involved in music. So I got to the point where, obviously, our family members passed on and sort of paved the way for us to then do what we're trying to do today. So for me, that was in the early teens, you know what I mean? I know nothing more, but then just sort of singing at church and getting together with family members, family barbecues, family functions, and just singing. So for us, that's what it was. So it wasn't even a thing of, damn, you can sing or you're mad creative. It was just a thing that was almost embedded. But that was obviously because of our people, our uncles, our aunties, our mothers, our fathers.
That's how you can tell. That's how I can tell it's natural. Is hearing that, I now know that it's something that is just in your DNA.
Right.
To just be like, yo, yeah, like real soulful, and it's like, it's inspiring to me as like a DJ and somebody who's just like trying to figure out where I fit in this musical place. it's not, like meeting you, it kind of made me feel at peace with that. It's all right to just do you and be in your own lane. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Likewise.
Just by being yourself, you know what I mean? So,
Yes.
and that's infectious and that's refreshing in music to just meet someone who's instantly no armor, you know? So thank you for that.
Thank you too, man. Thank you too.
So you talk about family there, and I know a little bit. But you come from, you and my partner B come from a very, very amazing stock, shall we say?
Yes. Shout out to BZ. Shout out to BZ as well.
Hold tight, B. Hold tight. But no, you guys come from a phenomenal family history. Would you care to just share that? I think this is your time to say this because I think they deserve the honor that only you could give, like in words. So, yeah, let the people know where you come from.
Yeah, man. As an extension to what I was saying before with the family ties, I mean, my mother, my godfather, my godmother, pretty much Jabulani was a collective of brothers and sisters that once again were just people that loved to sing and loved music. And so back in South Africa, they obviously got together and it was an easy thing for them just to sort of just get together and sing. And then that obviously transpired into them actually getting pretty serious with it and putting together a collective of that family together and start performing at, you know, all types of places and weddings and functions and whatnot. And then it really started taking shape when they came to Australia in the mid-'80s. And from then, it just rocketed up and it really has paved the way. And if you speak to a lot of artists, a lot of amazing artists today, whether it be the Jason Hearers and the Gary Pintos and these sort of type of people, you'll understand that people know Jabulani. And so, yeah, that's where it all began. And as I said before, they've paved the way for people to express themselves musically in this country.
Yeah, for real. It's quite funny because I go to places with B and I'm like, I've never been here before. And she's, oh, hi. Like, she knows, like, your family, like, you're known. And it's not until you are in these spaces where you expect not to know the person's performing or singing, and like they legit know you. They don't just know you; they know you. Like they've been to family functions. And it's for me just being a fly on the wall. I've been like, whoa! You can sense there's a presence here. There's a presence here, and it's sort of being handed down. And you're also humble with it. Like the way you talk about it at family gatherings is like. Just off the cuff, yeah, you know, like, oh, like, B's dad was amazing, and like, your mum, yeah, they were cool, you know, and you meet them, and they're like, oh, obviously not B's dad, but you meet your mum, and it's like, I should say, sorry, B's dad passed away, part of Jabulani, he passed away sadly, so, and your auntie as well passed away, so two members sadly passed away, rest in peace to them, shout out to them, because they were part of this legacy. But yeah, no. When you meet the last members of Jabulani, and you really see like just meeting them, you don't grasp how much of an impact and how much they did. And it's not until we speak to you guys off the record, we'd just be like having a beer, and you'll say some stories, and I'll be like, whoa, like,
crazy,
whoa.
Right? Even with myself, I mean, walking down the street, speaking to people, and whether it be different work facilities or sporting activities, there'll be so many times over the years where, you know, they'll just look at you and be like, are you Joyce? Or do you know, it's always 100% always, do you know Abby Joyce? Every time. And it starts like that, and it's amazing. It's just like, it's just almost become a bit of like the norm, but it's always starts off, are you a Joyce? Do you know this person? And for the most part, it's Abby Joyce. And that just says so much of the story, because this man has transcended this musical journey. So yeah, even we get it as well, man. It's crazy to see how far wide it's spread, especially in the 80s, where there was no social media. This was just the African crew that had come down to this country to make worth of it. So yeah, it's pretty crazy how it works.
That's cool. So for the people at home to put respect on their names, so how do you, for people that want to find them in YouTube, because I know there's some YouTube stuff floating around and stuff like that, so how do you spell it for the people that are trying to find it, to navigate some of this history?
Yeah, Jabulani, Jabulani, Jabulani. Yeah, man, you know what? It's probably, you'd have to like ransack my uncle's house because he was like their manager. So Martin, Mr. Martin James, he was the manager behind Jabulani, and he's got a wide catalogue of music and also videos. So to be honest, a lot of the stuff, he's got it. There's some stuff you can find on YouTube, and you got to dig deep these days for it. But it's there. Good music, you'll always find a way. But yeah, Martin James, be careful. Your house might be taken apart.
As well, to put the respect on their names, let's name the members as well, so that they get a shout out, because they deserve the past and present.
Yes.
They deserve some respect on their names for what they've done for you guys.
Yes.
So let's name the members.
So Abby Joyce was
R.I.P.
absolutely, man, the GOAT. And then you had my mother, which is Joni. My godmother, she's also a GOAT. Then you had Tess, my godmother.
R.I.P.
Yes, absolutely, she's in our thoughts always. And Dodie. So they formed Jabulani. Martin was actually played saxophone as well. So he was musically gifted as well, besides being the curator and the manager of the crew. So that was Jabulani, man. Brothers and sisters.
Nice.
Just doing music.
That's right. It's so good. Thanks for that, and I think they deserve that respect. So respect to you guys. Thank you for everything you've done for the music here, that we are now able to use as a stepping stone to create new, more like modern times twists to it. So thank you. So I'm gonna ask a cheeky question.
Yeah.
Have you got any exclusives for us, bro? Have you got any exclusive things you're working on, like that's not happening now? So we'll get on to the whole like where you're gonna be going.
Yep.
But for now, you got any exclusives for us?
I do, man. I do. I mean, as you know me enough now, Bruno, you know, I sort of I play my cards very close to my chest.
Yeah, that's
I'm very
true.
protective of my music and my art. But now it's at a point now where I'm happy enough to, you know, let people in. You know what I mean? So and that's thanks to you cats, man. To be honest,
I'm gassed about this.
I was holding it, and I got these things in a chamber. You know, and I've been curating for a minute, man. So
Okay,
man.
just say, we'd be lucky, if we're at a party, you'd be lucky if you even hear it on his phone. Like, and then you'd hear it and you'd be like, what? How are you just keeping that to yourself? Like, so sorry to interrupt you there.
Man. Yeah, it's enough for, you know, I've heard it enough. My kids and my partner are probably sick of it by now, but I'm looking to really explore it now, and I've worked with some amazing producers. One in particular, Tentendo, my man. Just boss, man. Just too cool. But first and foremost, he's good peoples. You know, good people. So got some collabs with Caleb, with Tentendo, and for the most part, I've made a lot of my music. So that's all been hidden. Yeah. Now it's about to come out. So
that's good. Well, you've always got a friend here on the Algorithm to help you sort of share your content, because it's hard to put into words how gifted you are. And one of those things that stood out to me as how truly gifted you are is something I know that you've been collaborating with is an amazing producer in the UK called MPH. Now, I discovered, like for me, MPH has got like that UK garage sound, but with a new tone, new synths, new style, and it gives me that familiar feeling. Garage to me is like the sound of London, it's the sound of England, it's thingy. And what you've managed to do on one of the songs is you brought back some nostalgia for me. When I heard it, I was like, wow, you hit it so well that I was like, I felt like I was about 12 years old again in London, dancing with my sisters on the driveway and the neighbours in summer, like with just the radio playing. and you managed to hit it that well. For someone who that garage is so new to, for you to be able to do that, for me, was magical. There's no other word for it. Like, to hit garage that well.
Thank you, man.
It was like you understood it. You just understood it, and that's the language of music. That is the language of music that sometimes you don't need to study. You don't need to do it. It's just your experience and your lineage that we spoke about. That speaks for itself. So I needed to say that to you. It's like, it's incredible, and I can't wait for the guys to hear these tracks that you've been working on. And there's one in particular that is more or less finished. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll share it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to boost it with this. But yeah, so enough about me waffling on how gassed I am by your collab. But like, as impressive as it is, so this collab with MPH, how did it come about? Like, yeah, I'm intrigued.
It's crazy, man. Look, and that's the great things with social media, I guess. Social media can take a boy from Melbourne and just communicate with a guy across the globe in UK. And for the most part, before I wrote the song, I really didn't know who MPH was. And you're right about the whole garage thing. It's all sort of new to me, you know what I mean? I've always loved the UK flavor of music, always. But I wasn't educated as such, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just, I was in a writing session and I was playing some music on SoundCloud. And shout out to SoundCloud because,
Yeah.
come on, man.
SoundCloud's the one.
SoundCloud was the, yeah, they're the goats. And so came across a track. I was just playing through music, and I was getting into a rhythm, and I was just sort of dropping ad-libs here and there. And then Nova played, MPH's joint. And as soon as that played, I was like, damn, this is cold. So as soon as it played, I literally just went to the room, I pressed record and started recording over it. And then it was pretty quick into that session. I was like, damn, this is actually quite bad. This is actually quite bad. And so yeah, man, recorded the joint, listened to over it a few times, and then I just literally just hit him up. And I said, look, man, the track had been cut by then, edited. And I said, look, here's a joint. I came across it, and I felt compelled to write to it. And he hit me back straight away saying, man, that's sweet, that's sweet, that's sweet. I said, look, do you want to hear the track? He said, yeah. I said, here. And he came back and was like, dude, this is fire. So I just said to him, look, bro, if you don't mind, can I have your blessing? He gave me the blessing, and then I put it on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, shot a little clip to it, and that's how it all started with MPH.
Yeah, so, wow. First of all, he's a guy that came up for me, and I was hearing his sound, and I was like, yo, like, this guy's fire. Instantly part of my playlist. Yeah. Whenever I go into that UKG vibe, he's a staple. There's got to be like 8 tunes that have to be played because of what he's doing with garage and how he's evolving it. And then for B to say, oh, Kali's got this new tune. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I'll listen. And it said, oh, it's with a guy called MPH. I was like, what? Like, legit. I was like, yo, straight on there, listen to it. And I was like, that's when I was like, yo. Like, I knew you could sing in that, but it's just, for me, it's like, I could see you in it. I could see you, bro, like, for real. So that's when I think, it wasn't long after that I messaged you about doing this, because I was like, yo, I have to speak to you and try and understand how, what, when, why, all of those questions.
Yeah.
So, it was very, very amazing for me you don't meet people who understand where I come from.
Yes.
You don't. You simply just don't.
Yes.
And you don't. Have you ever been to London?
I have, man.
Yeah. That you can kind of tell a little bit through it. But yeah, on that note, I'm gonna share Nova, your version, with everybody, and I didn't want to prematurely share it without obviously you being willing to do that, because I know your music's very private to you, and I'm not going to disrespect you in that way and to just start sharing your stuff if you're not ready or happy for that to happen. Yes. And now that you're on the journey, like you said, to be out there and share your music more, what people need to know about this, I'm going to send this to all my friends in the UK because it bangs, bro. It bangs. Like straight up respect on that
I
one,
appreciate
bro.
that, man. Thank you. And thank you as well, Bruno, because for the most part, as I was saying, I didn't really know too much about MPH. In fact, I didn't know anything about MPH, and it only wasn't until you were hitting me up saying, "Yo, MPH," I was like, "Yeah," and you're like, "This boy's dope." I was like, "Oh, okay, sick." I mean, it's a dope track, you know. So it was only until you actually brought it to my attention, and I was like, "Okay, this man's hot." So, and he's a cool guy. Shout out to Miles.
Yeah, big up. I actually met him very briefly. I felt so sorry for him because when he was on tour here, he was just like, "Yo, I've not stopped," and then he had more to go, and I was kind of like, when you're in that space, you know that it's just everything's flying past, and I know he probably won't even remember meeting me, but like I just felt for him, you know, because like doing an Australian tour is big alone, and then on top of that, he didn't even have a chance really to connect with you. Cause I remember being there.
Yeah. So I'm in the same boat as you. It was the guy was, it was a busy night. The guy toured a little bit, so you can understand it.
Yeah.
Also cool to get a couple little chats in, but I get it, man.
Yeah.
Touring and all that sort of stuff.
Definitely, or hopefully one day the algorithm gets to go there, get to that place, and either tour or even host a festival that can facilitate all the sounds. And it'd be a dream to have MPH on there one day, maybe. But who knows? Who knows? Never say never.
Miles, come through, man. Come down. MPH.
Yeah.
Come abroad, man.
Yo, that'd be sick. If we ever get a festival together, that would be amazing to do. But moving on from that. So you're a bit of an OG as well, which I didn't realise. Another moment I didn't realise when we went to see MPH, that event. You were like, "Oh, I'm going to go through," and I was like, "Yeah, I want to see him anyway because he's sick." So we kind of collaborated and we came through on the night, and I didn't realise that you're an OG. Like
Triple O.
Yeah.
G.
Like, and I'm not even
Triple
like
OG,
legit.
Yeah,
Like we walked in and it was an operatives event, and you knew everybody there. Like, but in non-egotistical, none of that noise. It was legit. We were just chilling, and people were just coming clean across the dance floor, speaking to you. The operatives themselves, like you were chatting to them, and like it was just, I'm new. I was new at this point. We'd only just moved back to Melbourne, so I'm very new here, and I'm just trying to just do anything to network and just see what's happening in the scene. And to see you do that, it made me realize that it's possible to evolve and be something of substance here. Because obviously when I came, I just felt like useless, really. I was just like, I don't even know if it's going to work. That there's no one caters for it. And you actually introduced me to some people who told me it's possible, and they're doing these events, they're making these sounds heard, and it was awesome to be a fly on the wall. And so thanks for that experience, because it helped. It was
Pleasure.
a little part of the start of the Algorithm Radio,
Yes.
and it helped inspire me to keep going and keep pushing. And it's got us here, it's got me on FM radio and all this stuff. And because of that one night, I think it was a massive catalyst as well in terms of changing everything. So thank you for that.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
But you are an OG, triple OG.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about that, because you did some performances with operatives as well. So elaborate on that.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, shout outs to the operatives, man, because it was an interesting time with music in this country where there wasn't really a platform for anything past your generic R&B hip hop music. You know, it was very much just your club sort of stuff, and that was it. That's where you heard your R&B hip hop music. You know what I mean? So this collective were the first for me to be able to actually embark outside of that space and give us something that was new. You know, so at the time SoundCloud was fire, and you had guys like Selection, Joe K, Sango, and these sort of type of guys that were absolutely just dominating SoundCloud. And the operatives were bringing these guys to Melbourne. And for me, that was just like, what? These were guys where, I was going home and chucking on SoundCloud a Sango track, a Mr. Carmack track, and writing. You know what I mean? So to have them now in our backyard, just like that, overnight was like, what? Sango's coming down?
Yeah.
Carmack's coming down. So for me, yeah, the operatives were just huge in that transition from your generic R&B, hip hop, soul music to no, we're giving you guys the music around the world.
Yeah.
And we're bringing them to Australia, and that's where it all started, man.
So I remember this is a story you told me as well on that night. You used to perform as well for the operatives. You used to sing as well. So so how often were you like? What? Yeah, just elaborate on that,
man.
if you can.
It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time, but it also felt like it was a very short time as well. So I went for the most part. I went there as a fan, just seeing obviously the artists that I was really into at the time, and still am today. For them coming down here, it was like, wow, I'm just going to be a fanboy and just appreciate good music.
Yeah.
And from there, I started to understand that there was actually a real community building within the space of the operatives, you know. And from that, I met a guy, I'd met previously from a long time back, who was a DJ. And he was also in tight with this crew, the operatives. And his name is Shumba Tapia. So Shumba, he was a DJ that was affiliated with the operatives. And so because I was tight with Shumba, it was just very natural in the way we, I guess, created music. And just one time I said to him, I said, hey, man, we should do something, you know?
Yeah.
And he then spoke to Jerry. He introduced me to Jerry Poon, who was the head honcho of operatives. So shout out to Jerry Poon.
Yeah, hold tight, Jerry.
Absolutely. Yes. So, yeah, man. So he went to Jerry, and obviously he had shown him some stuff. I think me and Jerry spoke a little bit as well, and then next minute we were on a bill, you know. So it's some pretty cool ones. I mean, the first one was they brought down Selection for the first time as a collective.
Yeah.
They brought down people like Sango and Carmack and even people like Jameson as well, but more as individuals or individual artists. So when they actually brought down Selection, and they had a few of the guys from Selection come down, and then we were on that bill, that was just like, for me, that was like, wow, man, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
You know, so that was amazing. That was probably by far one of the greater performances and just experiences to have your name put on that bill associated with the operatives and associated with Selection, people that I'm listening to and that inspire me.
Yeah.
It was quite surreal, but man, what a time.
Right. Listening to your stories personally in your private time it's like, well, I'm like a kid. I'm like, wow, like, you know what I mean?
That's how I was, man.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
It's so good. And
crazy.
Going back to what you said with the operatives, when they bring in people in and stuff, do you know what I find amazing is the way Jerry does it. I had that feeling for the first time I found out about them. How many years later? My first experience I think my first event of theirs was MPH since I moved back from Melbourne. And before we even spoke and I realized he was here, I was like, wow. How do you guys know about him? He's like, not underground in the UK, but he is underground in the UK.
Yeah.
Like he's made it in the underground scene, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
that feeling of just pure, like I'm being put on and being like, wow, there's actually a night here where I can go and I can be immersed in sounds and cultures that I really understand and I feel like speak for me and understand me.
Yes.
And Jerry does an amazing job of doing that consistently, event after event, and he's amazing. So yeah, big up yourself, Jerry. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. What does the future hold for Kali Brooke? Where are you looking at? Where you're lining up? You shooting for what are you shooting for? What's going on?
I guess the future is the only one that knows, really. So I'm just living for today, living for the moments that are to come. But in saying that as well, man, I'm just really looking forward to putting out my catalogue of music, in particular the stuff that I've produced from scratch, the stories and the compositions. There's something special about them. And I think the fact that I've been able to build it from the ground up means something more, and it holds greater value. So for me, as I said, man, who knows what the future is to hold? Only the future knows. But I definitely know that I'm looking forward to putting out this music.
Definitely. I think from knowing you and seeing your, what's the word, like transition from going like just keeping your cards close to your chest to now seeing you want to willingly get your tunes out there and heard. Like, bro, I'm just the energy alone that I'm picking up. Yeah, I think the future's gonna look amazing for you. And considering what you've already achieved and who you know, that if you're releasing music, it's only gonna get better. You know what I'm saying, for you and your music. And I'm gonna be playing your stuff and shouting your name from the mountains because you are incredible and you're very talented, and it's an honor to know you. So
Appreciate that, man.